Welcome to my channel, The Kingly Way. My name is King. And today's title is, Hey Jitler, I have something to tell you. Now, before we get into that, for those checking out my video for the very first time, please hit the like and subscribe to my channel. Alright, before I talk about what I have to tell Jitler, for those that don't know who Jitler is, he's a South Korean YouTuber that did a video about spitting on the Philippines flag, ripping up the Philippines flag, wrinkling it up, throwing it at the camera, and then he stomped all over the Philippines flag with his feet. So he did this in response to TikTok artist Bella Porch, a Filipino American who had a tattoo on her arm with a heart over the rising sun Japanese Imperial Army flag. So Jitler took offense that is a war criminal flag. Okay, just like for the United States, Jitler, when we see the Hitler Nazi flag, we would take offense to looking at that too. Or to any black American looking at the Confederate flag, Jitler. So you were upset, or you're doing it for the views. I don't know. I can't go in your mind. I don't expect to go in there. I don't care to. But I'm going to tell you a few things that you should think about. So I'm not here to come at you, attack you, but I'm here to kind of get you to understand what your consequences are. And I'm not on your side on this either. So I'm coming this objectively for you to start thinking about things. So let's see. I was surprised, since Bella Porch, you picked on her Filipino heritage, but you did not pick on the American part. I was kind of wondering why. Because you figure, what if it was a white American female that did that? Would you have taken the American flag, spit on it, rip it in half, and did the same thing you did to the Philippines? Or are you going to dare say that America's inferior to South Korea? I think you're smart enough to figure not to do that. But you think the Philippines are very inferior to South Korea? Well, what I'm going to do, Jitler, I'm going to throw some historical things to think about when you keep putting these videos out. So here's the thing. Let's rewind back to World War II. Okay? Because Korea, it was just one Korea, not North or South, was occupied under Japanese rule. And Japan occupied the Philippines too. They pretty much occupied the whole Asian continent. Okay? And then they attacked the United States, which was Japan's biggest mistake. So they attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7th. And the United States, in the Battle of Midway, took out all the Japanese carriers, which allowed the United States to now advance into the Pacific. Something to think about there. But I think you're smart not to attack Americans. But in a way, you kind of insulted an American too. She's my fellow American, and if you're looking at me and my face thinking, wait, you have a Korean face. Yes, I have a Korean face. I have Korean parents. But I was born in America, so I'm a Korean American. Just like Bella Porch is a Filipino American. Because the United States is the world. So you pretty much picked on the world. Okay, so in your video, you said that you respected and admired President Duterte, the Philippines president, and you like how he just does his own thing and takes care of business, and then, those drug dealers that he shot on sight, you think that was cool? Well, I don't think he's going to take too lightly about you disrespecting the Philippines. And I don't think he will think twice. If you're in the Philippines and you're saying all that stuff, I don't think he's going to ask questions first and shoot later. It's going to be the opposite. More likely, he's going to shoot first and ask questions later. And there'll be a setup. Just to think about. I'm not trying to get conspiracy theory on you, but anything's possible, Jitler. So, yeah. So, it was interesting. And then you said you admired Donald Trump, George Bush. Okay. So I think you might have some respect for the United States, but not the Philippines. But, Philippines is part of us. Every country is part of us. So now, I'm going to take you to the Korean War, Jitler. So kind of think about this. So, 1950, June 25th, North Korea, because now we're split into North and South after 1945. North Korea invades South Korea. And you probably learned this history lesson. We were pushed back all the way to Busan. So, and of course, later on, the United States attacked Incheon along with the ROK Army, the Republic of Korea, South Korean Army. So we successfully made an attack on Incheon and cut off their supply line. But at the same time, Jitler, you need to realize this. North Korea still occupied majority of South Korea. You know who came to the aid of South Korea? And this was really a pivotal moment, just like in World War II, Midway was a pivotal moment for America to be able to advance. The Philippines Army came to the Battle of Yokdo. They drove the Chinese army back. By them doing that, the Philippines Army, their ability to hold them off, gave time for the ROK, the ROK Army, the United States to reposition themselves, to fortify their defenses, and get on the offensive. If the Philippines Army wasn't there to hold them off, guess what? Here's two possibilities, Jitler. First possibility is you and I, we might not exist on this earth. Number two, if we did exist, South and North Korea wouldn't be separated. It would be all of North Korea. And we won't have a President Moon. We'll be having the Grand Marshal Kim Jong-un as the person running this country. Possibly. And I could be right, I could be wrong, but anything's possible, Jitler, isn't it? So, something to think about. So, the very country that you went after and disrespected, and the people there, they're one of the countries. There's a reason why we exist. There is a South Korea. They contributed. So, when you say Filipinos are inferior, I would kind of think twice about that. Okay? And, their military soldiers are pretty good in history when it comes to wars. They'll fight. They have to fight. And, I've been to the Philippines, Jitler. I don't know if you have or not. course, I mean, be not wise to go right now, or even after the pandemic, because you made a lot of enemies. Now, what I've said might not make any difference to you. I don't expect it to. I'm not here to pick a fight with you, but this is something to always kind of think about. Now, you don't have to listen to me, but maybe listen to somebody that you respect, or your friends that tell you to be careful. Because everything we do, or even yourself, what you did, there's going to be some major consequences. There could be consequences of me making this video, but I'm ready to accept the consequences of this video that I made. So, just food for thought. Think about your actions. Okay? Now, the hashtag sorry to Filipinos, the other Koreans should not have to apologize for you. And I know you didn't ask for that, but that should not happen. And it's not good to represent South Korea in a bad light. It already has that bad light in the past. So, Jitler, just be careful. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Now, most people will say, yeah, King, he already did it. You already did it. But don't wreck yourself any more further. So kind of think about those things. You know? No country is superior than the other. Even my country, the United States, we are not superior than the other. We all bring something to the table. Okay? No one's better than anyone else. Okay? No one's inferior. We have only one race, the human race, Jitler. So really, think hard. Okay? I don't expect you to ever see this video. I don't ever expect you to comment on this. So, I wish you the best of luck. You know? And remember, I'm not here to attack you. But I just want to throw this at you so you can kind of sit here and think about it. But if you feel attacked, I'm sorry if it comes off that way. But I am telling it to you like it is. Okay? I'm talking truthfully right at you to just kind of think about your consequences. Because everyone else pretty much is coming after you. But think of every action, because if you look at history, sometimes history repeats itself. So, that's all I have to say, Jitler. So take care of yourself. Alright, for those that enjoyed this content, please hit the like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell for future notifications. So, wherever you are, everyone, stay safe, and I'll definitely see all of you in my next video. Good night.